Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is DOZ 101 here with my man Cheeto. And unlike our SmackDown crew, which it took them 2 days to get their review up, we coming at you day one, the day that it happened. And we were live from Dusseldorf, Germany. And I got to say, the star of the show, or the stars of the show, was the crowd tonight. They showed up, they were on point, they were electric for their wrestling. But my thoughts overall, just like I said last week, this is the standard of WWE where mediocrity is the standard. And that's what I felt like a lot of this Raw was, where nothing memorable happened. But Cheeto, what did you think?
I agree. If there was a theme for this Raw, it was meh.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, really only one standout match in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that when we get there. But I 100% agree. The crowd showed up, but WWE Creative really didn't.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, okay, I know they promoted the Royal Rumble, it's in Jeddah, but are we ever going to, like, I don't know, say build toward the Royal Rumble? Are we going to have qualifying matches? Are we going to, have some stakes this year? Like who's going to be number one and two? Who's going to be number 30? Or are we just going to figure all that out the week of? Because that's kind of what I want to know. That's a big gripe about this show that I had.
Yeah, we are less than a month away, and we have no idea. Like, no matches. I don't even think any matches have been made. Like, they're
Nope.
they're they're more worried about making matches for next week and for Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, and that is concerning because back in the day, even in the month of December, you knew you were going to get Royal Rumble implications. Now, nothing. We're less than a month away, like you said, and nothing's happened. But let's go ahead and break down this show. Raw opens up with a recap last week, with the primary focus being CM Punk, Braun Breaker. I thought that was a really good match. And the storyline tonight, as we'll get into, is Braun Breaker can't show up and start doing crazy stuff. But we open the show with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky coming out being like, the Kabuki Warriors, they didn't really respect each other. We respect each other, and that's why we're the tag team champions. And then here comes everybody and their mother from the women's tag team division coming out being all like, we want tag team title matches because um, Liv Morgan and Roxanne came out, and then Bailey and Leah came out, and then the Kabuki Warriors came out, and everybody started fighting each other. And then the babyface tag team champions, get the upper hand. And then, oh my God, someone called Teddy Long. We're about to get ready to have a tag team match play later in the night. But what'd you think about the opening segment, Cheeto?
So I really liked it. The women's tag division right now is really really good and really really strong. My only problem with this, and I noticed this, but I'm like, on both Raw and SmackDown, they have gutted the singles divisions on
Mm.
those two shows. Like, you literally have three tag teams on SmackDown and three tag teams on Raw chasing those tag titles. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a nice, healthy tag team division, like especially in the women's division. I do, but it's like, but look how hard, and we talked about this a little bit last week. Look how hard the singles division, like they've got heavyweight titles and mid card titles that are floundering.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, like, and yes, with the call up of Jordan Grace, that's good for, but I mean, still, like, you've still got so many people. And what about the mid card? You got Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch are really the only remotely qualifying contenders for that TV title. So I'm like, I really feel like that. Yes, the tag division's super strong right now, but like, they gutted the singles division for it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, even Charlotte and Alexa, like they're on SmackDown, like, and they don't even cross shows. So you're looking
No.
at, what was it? Three tag teams on Raw and three tag teams on SmackDown chasing these titles.
Yep. And it's like, with it being Royal Rumble month, I don't know. Can we have like maybe an invasion of like SmackDown invades Raw, Raw invades SmackDown, just to have a little consistency? And even I would do that with the tag division. I'd be like, I'd have the SmackDown girls show up and whoop some ass. That's the thing I would have done in this segment. I would have had the SmackDown tag team show up and be like, wait a minute, you guys can't just hog these titles here on Raw. We need them too. And
Well,
you could have done that, but
well, and that's the thing I'm saying is just like, I mean, they've really like gutted the tag. Like, I get having like good contenders from each show, but like, you've literally got five or 16. Well, I mean, like 5 teams right now that are in serious contention for those titles.
Yep.
And there are no singles competitors to be. I mean, you got what on Raw? You've got what, Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez, which we'll get into Raquel Rodriguez later. I've got something to say about her, but
Okay.
like, that's Raw. You know what I
Yep.
mean? SmackDown is Jordan Grace and who else challenged? I mean, you could have Chelsea Green, but she was kind of embroiled in like they've been lacking on pulling the trigger on moving her up to the heavyweight title picture. You know what?
Yeah.
They keep her at mid card. And again, you need a strong mid card. I understand that. But at the same time, I just really feel like they've gutted their singles division of the women's division for all these tag teams. Because look at them, like Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Lyra Valkyrian, Nia Jax,
Lash Legend. Yeah.
I think Lash
She's
Legends is good in the tag right now, but I'm just
yeah.
saying, like, those are like main stars. Even Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, like those are huge names in the
Yes.
in the singles women's like division,
Yeah.
and they're all in tag teams right now.
Yep. I think the big problem that I think we could both agree on is like Triple H and WWE, the creative team, they've got to be more consistent because you can't just have, we talked about this last week, you can't have one set of titles more important than the other. And this is probably the biggest problem in the women's division is that you got the tags feeling important, but the mid card and heavyweight belts, it's just like, okay, they just feel like their props are just there. So you've got to be more consistent. But moving on, okay, we've had Javon Evans making his main roster debut versus Bravo Americano. I know about El Grande Americano. I did not know that he got some tag partners, but I thought that this was a really good showcasing match for Javon Evans just to show the main roster like what he could do. He's going to be doing like cruiserweight crazy stuff, and that's what he did. And he got the win. And I thought that he had a really impressive performance, in my view.
I'm actually going to counter back with you. I am actually not that impressed with Kofi Kingston 2.0 with the Five Nights at Freddy entrance. Like that's what he is. He like when he comes up to the camera and does this, I'm like, wow, what is this? Five Nights at Freddy? Like
I thought Rick Steiner myself. I'm like, I could see Rick Steiner doing something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have a problem with the guy per se. He's your, he talks about being bouncy, just like Kofi used to be, Yeah, I mean, he's Kofi Kingston 2.0, and I'm not saying that because they're both black and skinny dudes. I'm just saying that because like their style is the same, their look is the same. You know what I mean?
See it.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, and so I don't have a problem with him per se yet. I mean, I'm glad he had a good, solid, debut match on on Raw, but yeah, I don't know. Well, the verdict's still out on him. Maybe put him in contention for the Intercontinental title with Dom. If Dom, and that's another issue. Where's Dom at? Like, if he's really injured, you got to take the belt off him. Otherwise, that belt's going to be like. I mean, he hasn't even been on TV the past 2 weeks.
No. I don't know if Dom is hurt right now or if he's just.
He is. He's hurt. He got a shoulder thing.
Oh, shoulder injuries. Those are the worst.
Dude, WWE has gone through 7 or 8 of them in the past 6 months. I'm not even lying.
And yeah, and what's crazy is during the house shows, these guys used to get hurt a lot, and now they're not having as many house shows anymore, and people are still getting hurt. So I don't know what it is. But okay, now we go to the implication part of the show, which kind of tells me some things. Paul Heyman is backstage, and Adam Pearce shows up, and he's like, hey, Braun Breaker cannot be showing up here doing stupid, crazy shit. And he's like, okay, well, we'll just see what happens. So CM Punk comes out, gives his promo, and he's talking about, I'm still going to be the fighting champion and blah, blah, blah. But before that, Liv Morgan is giving Finn Balor shit backstage. He's playing on the PlayStation, playing WWE. And she's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, everyone's doing something but you need to be more proactive and productive. So he decides to go out and interrupt CM Punk, and they got a match set for next week. And spoiler alert, it's in Ireland, and Finn Balor's not going to win this match. No, it's just going to be a showcase match.
And you know what? I'm honestly, I'm okay with that because they really need to put the belts more on the line. I mean, do they need to be on the line on like Raws and stuff like that every week? No.
No.
But I mean, you know, like there would be times where you would just have title matches and you knew the undercard guy wasn't going to win. You'd always hope, like I can always hope Finn Balor would beat CM Punk.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen. And you know what? That's fine. I want to see a good, like when a belt's on the line in a match like that, I consider it a non-title match, even though like because I know they're not going to win. I just want a good match, and I think that Finn Balor is very good
yeah,
in the ring. So I don't. I mean, I'm excited to see this match. I just don't think it's going to give Balor a championship. I also just going back to the promo though in the back with
yep.
Liv and JD, or not JD, with
Finn,
Finn. I do love in the background though. He's like playing, and then all at the exact like moment like the promo was ending. I don't know if you
I
were
caught
watching the
it. Yeah, I
game.
caught it. He lost.
He
He
lost
lost
the
because
match
yeah,
to
I caught
Cody
it.
Rhodes. I was
Yep.
like, it just could not have like happened in perfect sequence.
Yeah, that was just yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, they totally like he totally planned that match out and he's like, okay, I got to plan it to put the controller down exactly as she's speaking to me and hope to God he pins me. Cuz usually they don't play video games like that in the back, but he was legitimately playing.
Yeah, because as soon as he put down the controller, like
Yeah.
himself in the game stopped doing stuff. So I was like, oh, and then he got pinned at the end. I was like,
Yep.
that's just metally funny.
Yeah, such a small little awesome detail. Okay, and then we had a really good match here: the Kabuki Warriors versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. For me, I thought it was a great match, but the thing with triple threat tag matches is it can be a bit confusing at times. But I do have a couple notes, if I may. WWE needs to stop catching the choreography, if it makes sense, because the dive, it's like I saw everybody huddle up together before the dive happened. That's a pet
And
peeve of mine. I don't want to see that.
yeah, and that so when you do the dive like that, don't do it off the top rope.
No, don't.
Dive over the top rope. You know what I mean? Like because like when she got up on the top rope and was standing there, like everybody was standing down there pretending like they were fighting each other in the crowd of themselves.
Yeah,
You know, like not in the crowd, but like you know them just kind of crowding up to catch her, and
yeah.
like she's like they were just standing there kind of waiting for her to jump for like 30 seconds, and I was like, you know what, I like it better when they run off the back rope and then come and then jump over because at least you know,
It
yeah,
looks
it's a
more
little more
natural.
dangerous, but it looks
Yeah,
better.
yeah. And my other note, my other complaint, the powerbomb suplex spot. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of how they set it up because it just looks like it takes so long to just set that move up. And I'm like, I get what you're going for. This is a big, like, this is awesome moment, but I've seen it so many times that I just can't buy into that spot anymore because you could see everybody setting up. And I'm like, you got to make it to where it looks less obvious that they're going to do that
Yeah.
and then count to three before they hit it. But the finish I thought was great. Liv Morgan swipes in, hits her finish, and they win the match. And they're going to be getting a tag team title match at Saturday night's main event, which seems more important than the Royal Rumble that I have a problem with. But you know what can you do? But
Well,
I
and that
thought it was a really good match.
I did too. I thought it was a good match, good finish. I do like the way that they did this triple threat tag team. I don't know if that's how they've been doing it. Where I don't like it where it's like a tornado tag where it's like
Right?
everybody's in, or like I like the fact that if it's a triple threat or a fatal four way tag, like I don't like the tag where it's like there's only two people in the ring at a time, but there's four teams, and
Yeah.
then you got to like watch your back when you back in the corner. I like what they did here, where it was like you know, one person from each team was in the ring and you can tag in and out with your partner, but it's still like a triple threat match. You know what I mean?
Yep. Right.
I do agree with you on the choreograph stuff though. They televise way too much on it. And I get it. You want your superstars to be safe as possible. So don't do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just it's cringe. It's really, really cringe. And unless you can pull it off a certain way, like don't let the camera linger. Like
Yeah.
you know, like bring the camera to that person on the top rope at the last second, at like as they're getting like just getting ready to jump off the top rope. Because if you pan the camera up there too early, you're just sitting there for like 30 seconds watching this person get established and make sure they have their footing. And it's like
Yep.
no, like you wait till the very last second pan up to the person on the rope. Otherwise, you should have you should have the action in view, you know, of all them fighting and stuff like that. Then out of nowhere, you look out with the camera and there's somebody up there literally jumping off the top turnbuckle.
Yeah, because then it's not going to look as fake and phony and contrived. And then going on staying with the women, I'm going to let you take this one because this is the real Raquel Rodriguez spot.
Oh,
The promo.
actually, there was before that, and it was
Yep.
just the Maxine Dupree, and I just have one
Oh,
note
okay.
on. I just have one note on the Maxine Dupree thing.
Go ahead.
Meh.
Yeah. Meh.
Like really, like I don't know why they took the belt off of her. I did like the fact that Maxine had the title. I agree that Becky Lynch is a better high profile champion,
Yeah.
but it's a mid card title. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
if you're not putting over mid carders with that title, what are you doing with it? Becky Lynch is a multiple time heavyweight champion in the women's division. Like she's lifting that title up in prestige, but at the same time,
Eh.
it's supposed to be like with a mid card title for me. It's like you're supposed to what the person does after, like Shawn Michaels. Like, was he great when he was Intercontinental Champion? Yes. But what makes the Intercontinental title memorable is what he did after the IC title. He went on to be the Heartbreak Kid. He went on to be the man for so many years in WWE. Bret
Yeah.
Hart, he won the Intercontinental title and he held, and he held it. But Bret Hart then went on to be the WWF champion many times. And people look back at at the Intercontinental title saying, well, that's where they came from.
Yep.
It's like the opposite. It's like, oh well, Becky's lifting that title up now. It's like,
She's
no.
regressing, and it feels like she's regressed because it's like, okay, it's one thing if you're gonna put the talent or put the new generation over, and she holds it for that purpose. But then after that, it's like you need to get back to being in the semi-main / main event women's spot, kicking ass.
Yeah,
And that's a complaint that I have about Becky Lynch. I'm like, okay, I don't mind if you're champion if the end game is to put Maxine over, and Maxine says, I'm here now. And then when she loses it, she goes on to be that main event heavyweight player for the women's division. And what you do with the Intercontinental title is that's the workhorse title. You go out there and you kick ass with that title. You go out there and you have the best matches. But then once you step past that, then you need to do that with the heavyweight titles. But WWE is going backwards with this.
yeah.
And I don't like that.
They're using their like because I will agree. Becky Lynch is like one of their biggest talent. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like she is like, but they're throwing a mid card title on her, and I don't think she should have the WWE Women's Heavyweight Championship or the World Title as per se. But like putting a mid card title on her just feels like she's like the glass ceiling at this point. Nobody can get past her up to the main event scene because Becky Lynch is just such this big immovable force
Yeah.
at the top of the mid card. And it's like, why are we doing it like this? Like it dawned on me this week. I'm like, yeah, like last week or several weeks ago, like Maxine beat Becky Lynch.
Yep.
That should have been it.
Mhm.
Becky should have moved on. You want to have this Becky Lynch and AJ Lee matchup at WrestleMania? Fine, do it. But don't put the mid-card title on it. Like
No.
why are we putting a mid-card title for a part-timer and one of your best workers / heels in the business right now?
Yeah, the consistency. This is the big thing with just WWE in general, that the consistency is just like, what the fuck is going on here? And with Maxine, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I could tell with the end of that promo, she seemed kind of flustered a little bit when she was like, I will break your ankle. And I'm like, oh, okay, you kind of forced that a little bit. If you're going to cut a promo, you got to try to come off as natural. And to me, it just didn't feel that way. It just felt like, okay, you kind of forced that last line
But
when
that's
you
the
were
thing.
trying to cut the promo.
But that's the thing. They're not letting her, they're not letting her grow into her new role.
No.
That ruthless like I can see what they're doing with her. They're trying to Kurt Angle her. They're trying to make that ruthless aggression. And when she won the title and when she came back, like after her training with Natty and everything like that, like I saw it.
Yep.
I really saw that this character was kind of getting over and she was doing a good job with it. But again, they just kind of like false started it. Like now she's lost the title. It doesn't, I mean, yeah, they have a rematch next week, but unless Maxine wins next week, it's not going to mean anything. And we know that they're building towards a Becky and AJ match for WrestleMania. So unless they have AJ come out and cost Becky Lynch again, by the way, that is what happened the first time. I think honestly, this time, if they do put the strap back on Maxine, she needs to win clean.
Yep.
No distractions, no AJ Lee screw
No,
job, nothing.
no music, no nothing. It needs to be straight up 1, 2, 3. You got beat.
Or tap out.
Yeah,
Or
tap
flat
out.
out. They have to. Otherwise, Maxine's push is done. And again,
Yep.
I think she's got talent. I think that, and is she like awesome? No. But I mean, I think she's come a long way.
Yep. And
And
okay,
yeah.
getting back to the original point, the women were all over this show.
Mhm.
Raquel Rodriguez had an interview with Michael Cole, and Cole was like, "I can't believe you would stoop so low as to attack Stephanie Vaquer." And she's like, "What I love about this promo, she has embraced the big sexy role. I love that. I love that she's listening to Kevin Nash, and she is like, "Yep, I'm here. I don't give a shit. I am here to stomp all over the women's division." And I love that promo. It just felt so natural and so organic, and we need to see more of that.
I agree 100%. I say, listen, Stephanie Valkyrie is good, but I feel like they pushed her to the moon too fast.
Yep.
And I feel like, and you know, and I feel like they need to put the belt on Raquel. I think Stephanie Valkyrie needs to chase again. I think she needs to chase for a little bit longer. Even maybe I don't want to say put her down to the mid card because like you know, then you run into that same problem. Oh,
Semi
you've got to
semi main is where she'd be at right now. Semi main, not necessarily like world title picture, but like you're on your way to contend for it is where I would put Vaquer right now.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and I think Rodriguez, I think she's put the work in, and honestly, I'm liking her work. Like back in like last year, like you know, like I would be like, no way, Raquel,
Yep.
no. Like Tag is where she needs to be. She's got a mouthpiece like Liv Morgan beside her. Like she, you know, that's where she really works. But like in the past 6 months, but even 3 months, I'm like, holy, like I really think that she's doing some good work on the mic and in the ring. And I'm like, no, I honestly feel like they need to push her. I think they
Yeah.
need to do this. They need to pull the trigger and take her to Mania as the world champion. And whoever, you know, and then whoever faces her at Mania maybe can take the title off of her. But you know, you know, maybe Naomi will come back or something like that. I don't know. But
Yeah, but you give her the ball, you need to let her run with it. That's basically how I would do it with
yeah,
Raquel. I'd be like, I'm going to strap the rocket to her and let her fly. And yep, we're just going to let this take off. Okay. And then now the big implication match, Bronson Reed and Austin Theory versus Dragon Lee and Penta. It was a good match, but basically all I need to really talk about is the finish. Well, more like the post match. The heels get the win, and Braun Breaker comes out,
no,
runs it.
they didn't get the win. They
Oh
got
no, they
disqualified.
got
So
DQ.
technically, the Penta and AJ
Okay.
Lee or
Oh yeah, they got DQ. Okay, so here's what happened. They got DQ'd. Braun Breaker runs at full speed, spears the piss out of I think Dragon Lee,
yep,
and
yeah.
then goes in, spears the piss out of Penta. Here comes Adam Pierce, and this is kind of a complaint I have if they're not really going to do anything with it, but okay. So Division beats the fuck out of the heels. Here comes Adam Pierce, puts his hand on Braun Breaker. He's like, "Hey, I'm sick of your shit. Knock this off." If we're going to do this authority figure angle shit, make it mean something because nothing is ever going to beat Austin versus McMahon. I get what they're going for here, trying to build up Braun Breaker as this unstoppable badass. They went with the you're suspended angle, and now they're going to play this angle of, hey, you touched him first. So now they're going to have the authority figure versus wrestler angle go on. And I'm like, it's got to mean something. It has to mean that Braun Breaker just needs to be that unstoppable badass that just beats the fuck out of people. And I will not be surprised, and I'm going to go ahead and call it now. One way or the other, that man will be main eventing WrestleMania this year for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I just hate the idea of them building that big match last week and then him
Yeah.
losing. And then let's say he like I think I was saying on I think I was saying on the SmackDown review. I don't know if you watched it at all, but I think when Boss Man and Zam were talking about that, I said basically if you do the whole thing with Braun Breaker that they were talking about, like they were saying, okay, he lost the match, then he comes back, wins the Rumble, and then he goes to Mania and wins the world title. And I'm like, so you're Jey Usoing him.
Yep, essentially. But
Yeah, and
what
it's
I
just
would do, I would have Braun Breaker just run through Punk like a fucking tank. Like he just goes through and he squashes Punk. That's the only way you could probably redeem Braun Breaker in this scenario. Punk needs to get his ass beat.
I don't know if I want to squash Punk only because of how strong he is in the ring, like
Mm,
as a character, not as a wrestler. Those
right.
days are way beyond him. But like
Yes.
he's over with it. But I don't know if you want to like then you risk doing the Brock Lesnar John Cena thing where it's like,
Ah,
and I'm like I know like I may not like CM Punk as much as I used to, but like from a booking point of view, like you can't do that. Like, would I put them in a match at WrestleMania for the world title and make it a strong match and put Braun Breaker over? Yes.
Yep.
I honestly feel like I, I don't know. I
They
feel like
they put themselves into a corner with this one, and I hate that they did that. I wish
yeah.
they could have. I wish what they would have done. It should have ended in a disqualification, because then it would have given you a reason to run it back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it was a clean, not a clean, but like it was a
it was a decisive finish,
victory. Yeah,
basically.
it was a decisive victory for Punk. So that just discredits any of the steam that, and I mean, yeah, Braun's got the whole authority figure thing going on, but at the same time, it's like, how far can we run with that? Like, it's not Austin, Vince. Like,
No.
so the one note I did want to put that put on about this is why have they just not put like. So this goes back to, so there was a promo before this, and I figured you wouldn't mention this because it was such a stupid promo, because
Yeah.
it was the Alpha Academy confronting Jey Uso about the tag titles, and it's
I
like,
thought this was after this, but yeah,
oh,
okay,
it
go
might have
ahead.
been. It might
Yeah.
have been. I
But
was
go
kind
ahead.
of I was kind of skipping around when I was watching it, and Netflix does weird stuff when I try to skip around,
Yep.
and that might have been after it. But so here's my thing is like, why not put the titles on like Reed and Theory? Why,
Right.
you
Right.
know, like why put them on the Usos again? We talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it again because the Usos are going to defend against the Alpha Academy, who have not been in a tag team match in how long?
Yeah, and this felt really out of nowhere to me. Like, I'm like, okay, so anybody can step up now and get a tag team title match. I'm like, you couldn't have had the Vision, because what I would have done, the Vision, you're absolutely right. The Vision should be in contention, if not already the world tag team champions by now. I personally would have started 2026 with them kicking ass and taking the world tag team titles.
I would have, yeah,
But
that Theory and Reed are the two that I would have had. I mean,
yeah,
if 2 months ago I would have had it been Braun and the Bronson
yeah,
Reed and Braun Breaker. But like now the Theory's back in the picture, I'm like, no, like Reed and Theory are actually a really good dynamic of a tag team to take those tag titles. Like, you bring the Usos back in, and like, fine, you want to bring the Usos back in, fine, but they need to be putting over tag teams. They don't need to be burying tag teams.
no, the Usos winning, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Usos' best days of winning in their prime is long behind them. They now have reached that legendary status where you can afford to lose, and the Usos need to start doing that. They've got to start losing, and they've got to lose. I actually want to see them lose to the Vision clean. Like, that would be like a holy shit moment. They did a clean job, and that's it, because the Usos don't need to be winning like 17, 18 tag team titles anymore. Those
Yeah.
days are over.
I mean, they're on 8 already. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, and we know Jey Uso singles run didn't go well. So it's just like, what are we doing with these guys? Like, I didn't mind Jey Uso's singles run. I thought it was a bad idea to put the belt on him. And well, I honestly feel like it was a bad idea to have Gunther tap out to him. Like,
I'll never forgive him for that. I'll
that
never
was
forgive him for
so
that.
dumb. I didn't mind him winning the Rumble. I thought it was a great like swerve, on John Cena, because everyone thought Cena was going to win, and them
Right.
doing Uso, I was like, no, that's fantastic. I didn't even mind him winning at WrestleMania, but him making Gunther tap out was a bit much. And
Yeah.
then they just did nothing with his title reign, and it's just like, I know that after Mania is usually a dead period, but it's just like, come on, guys, like what are we doing here? Like, like the Usos are. And Jimmy's the better, in my opinion. Jimmy's the better in the ring and better talker
On the mic.
anyway.
Yeah. He's just the all around better Uso, but I think with his personal problems and with his DUI problems, that's
I
kind
thought
of
that was
why
Jay.
WWE. I thought it's one of them. I don't know who it
I know
is.
one of them
Yeah.
have that. I thought it was
Yeah.
maybe it was Jimmy. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think it might be Jimmy, but yeah,
Okay.
I think that's why they're so hesitant to pull the trigger on him, because he's just fucked up so many times. But
Well, then you know what? Sometimes you got to live by the choices you make.
yeah. And then, okay, another thing that I thought was weird was that the Dragon Lee and Penta were in the trainer's room, and then Javon Evans is just like, "Are you guys okay?" And I'm like, "What is this leading to?" It felt like just like a random backstage segment just to say, "Hey, Javon Evans is here," and it was like, "All right."
Yeah, he's already had a match. Like, why
Yeah.
are we doing, like, why, if anything, this would have been a good time for, I don't even know what it would be a good time for.
Right.
like, what would the purpose of this segment even be? And Javon Evans just checking with them. Like, if anything, it should have been Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio
Yeah,
should, because Rey Mysterio's been with them for a while. Rey Mysterio coming in and going, you know what? I'm gonna face, I'm gonna I'm gonna face Logan Paul next week, and I'm gonna show those, like it would actually set up a match for the following week.
yeah, it would give you something to look forward to.
Or they could, set up a 6-man tag for Saturday night's main event. Paul
Right.
Bean in theory versus Ray and Ray Penta and Dragon
Dragon
Lee.
Lee. Yeah.
That would have
Okay.
been something to do, or set it up for the Rumble. I don't know. And you know what I mean? But like, there was no point to Javon just jumping in there being like, if you guys need anything, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so what are you trying to do? Just get the new guy over as like the nice guy who goes around and checks on everybody?
I guess.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Okay. And then I called it. I said it was going to be a good main event with a fuck finish. And that's what we got. AJ Styles versus Gunther. This was a real hard hitting match. I thought it was a great match. Both guys got their shit in back and forth. The finish. AJ Styles tries like 3 times to lock in the calf crusher. Gunther taps out. The referee doesn't see it. I love that. And then AJ's like, yo, what the fuck? And then the referee's like, okay, I got to go tell the announcer the match continues. Gunther hits a low blow, hits his power bomb to win. It gives you a reason now to run it back. I do agree with you, though, that this is a little too early, but now there's got to be something at play here. I don't want this just being a match at Royal Rumble and then it's over. This is a good enough match where you could do it at WrestleMania, but there's got to be a reason here to have this. Like,
when is AJ? Do we know when AJ Styles' contract is up with WWE? Because
that's what I'd like to know. Because I'm like, if this is it, because they. I also wanted to mention. I'm sorry to cut you off. They referenced him being the retirement killer thing, and I'm like, oh fuck. They actually said that as he was making his entrance, and I'm like, no, don't tell me we're gonna get Gunther and AJ, and he retires AJ, because I feel like that's exactly what they're about to do at WrestleMania, and I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't mind AJ and Gunther. I don't mind Gunther, I guess, retiring AJ. I mean, again, really, I mean, these veterans, as they go out, they need to be putting over talent. Well, as I said, I never had a problem with John Cena putting Gunther over. I really feel like that, honestly, John Cena should have been putting somebody else over, because Gunther's over. I feel like
Gunther's made.
I really feel like it should have been LA Knight, but still, like, WWE has this affinity for not doing anything with LA Knight for some reason, and I don't know why. I don't know who he pissed on. I don't know whose Cheerios he pissed in, but yeah. So I don't mind them building Gunther like this, because Gunther's the next big thing. He's going to be the next 17, 18-time world champion. He's he's going to be the guy that's going to be like Randy Orton, pretty much. He's going to be the guy that has a long tenure with the company, and a lot of people are going to either love him or hate him, but everybody will at least respect him.
Yep. But with this match, I'm like, okay, so they're going to run it back, obviously. I just pray to God that it's like, please don't let this be at WrestleMania. That's all I want. I don't want AJ to retire at WrestleMania. I want him to try to go out maybe at the end of the year, or maybe at SummerSlam, if Brock's not already going to go out at SummerSlam, but we'll see what happens.
I feel like I feel like it's at least going to be probably at Mania. I'm sorry to say, because as I said, it just depends on, because he said he's not re-signing a contract. He's not leaving. He's just not re-signing a contract. So it just depends on when his contract is up. Like, if his contract is up in February, they might be aiming for the Rumble for his last match, or if his contract is up in April, or like May, they may aim for a WrestleMania, a retirement match. I think it just depends on when his contract is up, because he's already said he's not re-signing. Now, maybe he'll sign an extension to finish out the year. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to figure out when his contract is up.
Yeah, when it comes to an end. But I see Gunther. I know how this is going to end if they do it right. It's all been about tapping out. AJ taps out Gunther, because they would not shut the fuck up about like, oh, I'm going to make you tap. AJ's going to make Gunther tap. That's how I see this going. AJ will at least make Gunther tap out one time in a match and win.
I don't know. I feel like they got the lesson with Jey Uso making him tap out.
Yep.
Like I don't know. I feel like I don't know if they will make AJ make Gunther tap, because I feel like when Jey Uso did that, now I think it was stupid because Jey Uso doesn't have a submission repertoire. You know what I
No.
mean? Like none at all, right? Like I don't think I've ever seen him do very many submissions, and he even used Gunther's own submission to make him tap, and it's like that's really pretty bad.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why
AJ
they
at least
did
has
that.
the calf crusher, which is something that he's used many times in the past, but it's almost like Edge's execution or whatever it was called. His that weird
Yeah,
looking
that inverted
scorpion death look.
sharpshooter.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
inverted sharpshooter. Like Edge barely ever used that, and when he did, it was like in submission matches because he needed a submission.
Yeah.
At least
But I
John
don't know.
Cena, when he brought the STFU in, it was like he used it all the time.
Yep. The only complaint I have about Cena's STF is like I wish he would have cinched up the holes because there were
Oh
so
yeah,
many
no, that
gaps
was
in it.
awful every single time.
I'm like, dude, you got to tighten it up if you're going to do it. But overall, this is pretty much Monday Night Raw. Am I looking forward to next week's Raw? Not really. I mean, we know what's going to happen. They're going to have the Intercontinental title match. Pull the trigger on Maxine, for the love of God. Just do it. Let's get this done. Let's elevate Becky back up to the semi-main. Not saying she needs the world belt right now, but she does not need to touch the Intercontinental title again. Let that be it. She doesn't need it.
It's just choking up. It's just choking up the mid card division. You've
Yep.
got wrestlers like Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyria. Like even though Lyra's already a former Intercontinental champion, she can still benefit from holding that belt again.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm trying. I mean, who else? I mean, even Lash Legend. Like she's just been called up. Sol Ruka is being called up. Like all of these mid card wrestlers that could benefit from that Intercontinental title. And as I said, I get it. You're trying to elevate the title, but it's almost now like the title's dependent on Becky to have any prestige, and it's like it shouldn't be that way.
No. If you're going to prestige the title, it needs to be the workhorse title, and it needs to go to the person that is going to carry the company, and you use that as a building block championship. That's how it's got to go. The Intercontinental title needs to be the title that's the foundation, the building block for future world champions, and same with the U.S. title. But overall, let's see, is there anything else to talk about as far as
that's all my notes. We hit them all.
I think we got it.
Raw's just meh.
Yeah. And then as far as SmackDown goes, I'm glad that they did what we said. I'm glad that they actually put the title on Drew McIntyre. Cody does not need to be the WWE champion again until SummerSlam this year. I don't want him touching it. I don't.
And from what I heard, now I don't know if this is true or not, but what I heard is that the decision to put the belt on Drew actually was done several hours before SmackDown even aired. Like, yeah, it was a last minute change, and I think
they pulled a Vince. They pulled a Vince on us.
But it's also said that Cody and Drew approached creative and said, we need to put Cody himself went and said, we need to put the belt on Drew.
Okay. So
I'm happy about that because I love Drew McIntyre. It almost makes me sad that I can't watch SmackDown because I don't have Peacock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need a VPN so I can watch SmackDown on Netflix, I think, overseas, right?
Yep.
So there's your VPN plug, Stephanie. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. But Jesus, I think as far as WWE goes, you guys have got to shake things up. We need to, and no, I'm not talking about a draft. I'm talking about change up the writing. It's so formulaic. You got to do something different because this is our second podcast. We'll be back again next week. But my God, so far 2 weeks into the year, I am not impressed with Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and we're supposed to, like they already said tonight, we're on the long road to WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania is still what, 3.5 months away. Yep. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It is the long road because it used to be the road to WrestleMania started at the Rumble at the end of January, and WrestleMania used to be at the end of March.
Yep. And
so
now,
now we're like 3.5 months of the road to WrestleMania is 3-4 months now.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my God. And just to keep you guys informed, because we don't ever want to lie to you guys, the plan is to get through to the Raw after WrestleMania, and then we decided we're going to take a break for the summer, but we will be back in time for SummerSlam, probably around July. That's at least the future. That's at least the plan of this podcast for the time being. is to keep you guys entertained, and then we'll go on our hiatus for a bit, but we will be back.
Or we may change up the plan completely. Who knows?
Yeah, we may change up commentary teams. We don't know what we're doing.
We may have a draft.
Yeah, we may do a Nerd Tube WWE draft down the road.
All right, I think that's it.
Yep.
Home Skillet, you ready to wrap
I think
it up?
that covers it. Yep. I'd like to thank Cheeto for joining me, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I am DOZ. With me is Cousin Cheeto. Thank you guys. Like, share, subscribe. We're the greatest YouTube channel you kind of maybe sort of heard of. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to check out our friends on SmackDown later on this week, and also Star Trek Starfleet Academy starts on Thursday, so we will be doing reviews starting Thursday for that. Anyway, sorry, I should have thrown that in beforehand, but yeah, bye guys. Good.